It's really hard to get a day where there's no wind blowing around here, and it's still, because when the wind blows it goes into the microphone of the camera. It's really annoying, so I've had to postpone this by like a couple of weeks. Anyway, here I am. I am in Canberra, the capital city of Australia. I used to live in Tasmania, but I ended up moving a few months ago, back in July. I haven't meant to do a video since then, but it just, some things haven't worked out with doing a video, either because it was too windy, or I was trying to film and people would walk past or something, or I don't know, I ran out of time. Anyway, so here I am. So, yeah, I moved to Canberra back in July. I took a work transfer basically. It was time for me to make a change in my life, so that's what I did, and here I am. And it's been a big change, and a lot of stuff has gone on since then, and because of that change. So I'm used to living in a rural or in the countryside, and now I've got the cities behind me and living in a much bigger place than I'm used to. But the change is healthy in a way, because you expose yourself to a new environment, and it's a positive benefit for you. In terms of PMO, Nofap stuff, I don't know, I haven't really had to worry about it so much when I've been here. This year, I was thinking about this recently, this year in total I think I've had about three relapses, I think. But I think when you make a big change like I did, to change where you live or something like that, a lot of stuff in life gets resolved. Not everything. No, that's too dark. This is amateur hour, or amateur filmmaking. Anyway, so I should really have bought a tripod. It doesn't matter. It's my 50th video, I think. So anyway, so when you make a big change in your life, like I did, such as moving state or moving cities, a lot of negative things get resolved. But it also means that you have to sacrifice a lot of positive things as well. And there are a lot of things I've had to sacrifice coming here. A lot of interests and hobbies, a lot of friendships even. People that I lose contact with. That's how it is. And sometimes you've got to make a change for yourself to benefit yourself. And as a result you sacrifice things. And that's life. But it also means you get to resolve a lot of things as well. You see, up here, I'm not in a mindset like I was back where I was living previously. My mindset's different because I'm in a different area and I'm around different people. It's a refreshing. That's the right word. It's something new. I'm saying you have to move cities or states to be able to handle things like this, or to be able to give up things, but sometimes a change is necessary to do that, and that for you is going to be different than it was for me, I think. So where does that leave me with Nofap? Well, I think I'm able. I think, I've always been thought that you don't do Nofap. It's not a thing that you do. It's a way that you live. And for me, and I've said this in the past, I think for me, Nofap is one of those things that part of doing Nofap is being able to put it away and to not have to think about doing it consciously anymore. And it's just something that you do without thinking about. I don't have to, because I'm so far removed from the environments that I was in previously. It's like I don't have to be too conscious about it anymore. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm absolutely 100% safe from, temptations or anything like that, because I'm not. But I don't have to be so conscious about it anymore. And in doing that and not thinking about Nofap and all that kind of thing, I can not think about all that stuff that it involves either. I can put all that stuff behind me and move forward. And I think it's kind of like when you have training wheels on a bike, right? Like you put the training wheels on to help you, and that's good. And then it gets to a point where you need to take the training wheels off, and you can just ride the bike without thinking about it. And I think that's how Nofap works, I believe, is that you consciously do it, and then it gets to the point where you don't need to be consciously aware of the steps that you have to take to combat the PMO cycle and all of that. After a while, it becomes habit, and you start to pursue positive things in a more natural way. More, it's just you consciously choose the right decision. You don't consciously, you unconsciously, I suppose, choose the right decision. You're able to pick what's right without having to think about it or get too caught up in temptations. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I hope it does. But for me, it's like I don't feel the need to really make Nofap content anymore. And I think this might be my last video about this stuff. Because I think for me, for my own Nofap journey, it's like, well, it's a part of being able to put Nofap behind you also means to stop making content, I guess, to stop being involved in this measure. Like I'll still keep up to date with people and that sort of thing, on and off. But I think for now, I think I'm going to leave it here. And I'll leave all my other videos up, older stuff, if people find them helpful. And I'm glad people did find them helpful. And it's been a journey. The last few years, it's been a long journey. And I'll still be around. I just won't be in the stream of making in the business of making videos. Sorry, if I can put it that way. Not that it's a business, but more of a thing that helped me be accountable to myself. So it was a stage in my life, and I think I'm ready to move forward from it now, or move on from it and get on with new things, I suppose you could say. So yeah, if you're on the journey, I wish you well, and it's a tough journey, but it's worth it. And you can never predict what's going to come in the future, and you can never say that you're going to be 100% fully immune from it, from what's going on in the world. And it's interesting because this world that we live in, and the way that things like PMO kind of permeate our society a lot, it's I don't know. I think I was listening on the radio. This was about a month ago, that a very popular radio station here in Australia was doing a segment on the effects of PMO and all that, and they were painting it in a positive light, right? And one of the things that they were saying, they were talking about the bad stuff, but they said that how do they say that one in 10 men find it a problem in their life, like 1 in 10, and I was like, I don't believe that's true. I think people are a lot less aware of the impacts or the negative impacts that this has on our life. I suppose it's like years ago when people started smoking and they thought smoking was healthy for you, until they realised later on that it's actually not. I think it might be similar to that, maybe, that we're living in. I don't know. But in either case, to abstain from this stuff, to fight against it, I think that's a good thing. So, but I think I've gone on long enough for this video. I'll leave it here and wish you well for your future.